Madagascar is unique. This uniqueness lies in the diversity of the country. Madagascar enchants with its great variety of endemic plants and animals and its constantly changing landscapes that extend across the entire country. Madagascar is the fourth largest island in the world, which emerged from the supercontinent Gondwana when Africa separated from Asia. The richness of nature stands in stark contrast to the extreme poverty of the country. Due to drastically changing climate conditions, rapid population growth, and the population's dependence on natural resources, both the wealth of nature and the survival of people are at risk. I traveled to the deep southwest of Madagascar to the fishing community of Ifaty, which lies on the Bay of Ranove. Here, Emma and her organization Reef Doctor are fighting for a stable livelihood for the local people.
When I dive under the surface, it's a whole new world. It's my peace. And under the water, I'm definitely somewhere where I can find a bit of tranquility and I can connect back to why I became a marine biologist. When I first came to Reef Doctor as a very, very, very naive intern, my ambition was to save the reefs. I wanted to come and save the ocean. The longer you're out here, you realise that it's more about community participation and it's more about the human element that goes along with these marine environments. Madagascar has been touted as one of the first countries in the world to suffer from climate-induced famine. So the coast is now being seen as the area to provide food security for all the people in the south of Madagascar. There's huge fundamental lack for communities to live healthy and fruitful lives. We have to find a balance between conservation and development. We have to find a balance between extraction and the marine environment and conservation protection of biodiversity of that marine environment. I think the most significant way that fishing has changed has been the increase in a beach seine, pedikaki, and what it is multiple nets that have been sewn together with something called a cod end, which is used with mosquito net. And the reason that is not very good for the environment is that it takes everything, it's indiscriminate, and it goes through the seagrass beds, it takes out everything. I mean, it's becoming more and more common, and we used to have 1 or 2 beach seines, now we have 50 to 100. And then getting people out of that fishery is very, very difficult once you've started, because you're working with the very, very, very poor that have no access to any of the livelihood but beach sailing. The way that people fish has also changed. The children used to go out and play in the mud flats and they used to go and catch little fish. And now it's something that is actually an active role to try and supplement the fact that you don't get enough food at home. The biggest drain on people here is what to eat. So every day you wake up and you have to think, what am I going to feed my household today? So it's just a constant battle to try and make sure that your family is fed for that day. You go to bed, you wake up, and it starts again.
Naturikie and Fiacre are 2 fishermen from Ifaty. They take me with them on their daily fishing trip, and I get an insight into their work. Naturikie is in his element here. However, the fish he catches today are all very small, and it is striking how few fish can be seen on the reef overall. The overexploitation of natural resources can be felt with every descent and ascent. 90% of the reefs in the Bay of Ranobe have disappeared in the last 40 years. Additionally, rapid population growth and the migration of climate refugees to the coast has put increasing pressure on fish stocks. Back on land, Naturikie and Fiacre tell me about their lives as fishermen and the challenges of their way of life.
Marina zay fa isanandro zahay mandeha mila fia, manday basy, manday harata. Iasanay vezo zay fa tsy misy asa ankoatsy zay zahay mandeha andriaky io fa ay asan harata basy, misy fia vilinay to mpanananga reo, zahay koa mahazo jala kelikely. Zay zany momba ny asanay andriaky eny. Tsy misy hafa ankoatzay ny asanay.
Zay kely azonay misy fotoa azoa maro, misy koa fotoa tsy azoa maro. Fa zay kely azo iny ro andesy avily, andesy ambazary any atao sakafo. Ny mahasarotsy ny fandronoa, ny mahasarotsy ny fandronoa andriaky eroy zany, ny mahasarotsy azy resaka hozatsy no miasa amin'ny raha io eny. Tsy mandeha montera, tsy misy montera handesinao mamelom-po mipesy fa mive avao iha, mive laka avao, mampiasa laka, mampiasa mive, mampiasa harato, mampiasa nambasy zay tokony handesina andriakany na vinta. Dikany lafa marety tsioky. Lafa marety tsioky, lasa sarotsy ny famelomam-po andriakany.
Maro ny fivolagna ty lehilahy vezy toy zay. Fa io na marety tsioky io tsy hanao akory. Fa tsy voatery tsy mety mandeha. Tsy misy olo hagnampy anao la iha tsy mandeha koa. Ekeny io mahazo bakegny mino kafe. Nefa matetiky tsy mahazo bakegny. Manahaky zahay nandroany zao fa tsy fanitorotorogo sasany bakegny zao. Amosare, torotorogo sasany bakegny tsy misy raha andriaky eny. Torotorogo sasany fa tsy handeha amby koa na hamaray aho. Nefa mbo handeha avao fe tsy androany ao hamosare zany. Reo andesinay zahay tsy mifily karazam-pia. Tsy mifily velomam-po na tena marina. Fa lafa mbeo iaby na fia na ino andesinay mbeo. Etoy samby piriny igny. Avarotsy ny mpanao kinanga reo.
Fia azonay bakeny io ahinay, fe avilinay mpikalo fia, mpanao kinanga. Avily jala, avaliky jala. Fia avaliky jala hatao sakafo. Maro, ty tena ilaiko amin'ny vatako ny materiely handesiko fandronoako andriakany satria maro ny zavatra ilaiko mikasika ny velom-po andriakany. Ny hasoa ilako koa amin'ny vatako sy amin'ny hoavy sy ny zaza madiniky mifafara mandimby ahy mba tokony hisy projet atao avy amin'ny vazaha na manambola hatao amin'ny riakeny ka mitovy amin'ny hoe reserva an-dranomasina mba hitsinjovany hoavy satria efa mihanty traho nefa ny tena kelikeliky mety ho lany ny zavatra andriakany ka mba mila manampy amin'ny asa makasika ny fanampiny liandriaky.
Mila reserva parfois tsy hoe anaty tao raiky na roe tao i mba voa koa mahafaky mandaondao koa mpamarajary hoe tokony hataotsika koa toy lafa be koa manao ataotsika raha atao babako reo mety zay.
Marina fa tena tadiaviko amin'ny hoavy mikasika amin'ny riaky mba haharitsy ny velom-ponay andriaky eny. Dikan'izay mitovy amin'ny raha niteneniko le haniky teo hoe mba tokony hanana fanajaria. Dikan'izay reserva hatao andriaky eny mba hitsinjovan'ny faramandimby, mba hitsinjovany ny ankizy manaraky.
Zahay zany marina volagny zao fa mihalany raha eroeroy. Ka manomboky mahatsaro zahay resaka velomampo anjeky roy fe manahaky vatanay aloha zao fa tsy manao hoe fa tsy misy voanaky afara agny zay. Io tsy ho fanova amin'ny raha iaby io hoe tsy atao raha ty fa tsy mety. Aza ataonareo fa tsy mety io. Mitovy amin'io avao koa raha anjeky roy hoe raha koa zay zany raha angatahanay amin'ny fiainanay andavanandro.
Setting up marine protected areas for sustainable fishing is an established method that has repeatedly led to good results worldwide. Sandra from the University of Toliara is responsible for supporting the establishment of protected areas in the Bay of Ranove, thus making the wishes of Naturikie and Fiacre possible.
As we know, in the southwestern coast, fisheries is an important source of incomes for the coastal communities. We collect data that will give information to managers and to the communities how to manage these fisheries. Women have a very important role to generate the income of their household. There are the customs in some region of Madagascar. If you are a girl or a woman, you cannot have to go further in your study because you have to stay at home.
In our conversation, Sandra draws attention to another important topic, as women play a key role in economic development in Madagascar. After our conversation, I would like to learn more about the challenges faced by women in Madagascar. To this end, Emma organized a meeting for me with the members of the women's cooperative RENEFEP.
Mi manakizay ty si kalona fiainy baka anjiakeny manjio rio zahay aty liara any le olo aty liara gasa avao koa mivily azy lafa tsy misy mpikalo amizay lasa ry amizay lafa tsy letaky satria tsy manahena ny glasea bosa manao fandiha azy manao kory moa ivoana zainy sa i tsy letaky lafa tsy letaky le fanariny fary avaketsy
Arao zany tsy manao fiasany nareo.
tsy manao satria tsy manao fitao
Tena intéressé tamin'ny raha toy izany tena nahatonga anareo na risque hoe zaho hijoro amin'ny fikambana ato fa manazo ino
nampiriska anay fikambana satria zahay manao kinana fa mba hiro hainay hoe ho zao ty antony tsy mahalo fia ho zao ty antony tsy mahalo ty angisy ahizanay azy zany
Meia. Dapat mana tia mea hado right. Mana kera kitela makita manome tia. Salim kanome. Se mahita manome. Ya sabse la pamagi jalan ulutui dal dating ati wala posan manonits. Ia mati dua ini butsiado jalan ulutui bonus jalan. Saja dapat sileta kin tokat simisra ko embasias kamurias.
Manao kory igny fomba ianareo asa aminy. Na ohatsy tena zany ohatsy hoe resaka asa. Fa le vola azo androany zany la ohatsy zany hoe manome drala anareo androany. Mety hanampianay familynay androany hamaray koa raha. Fa ty tianay zany manahaky hoe laha mba misy asa ohatsy hoe aminao, aminareo mba afaky hoe hanampianay ny kinangany ho asa hoe areo adala isam-bola na par jour. Le iny amizay mba afaka hanampianay ty familynay. Mba drala mba tamaninay par mois zany amin'iny isam-bola. Mba hanampianay familynay fa tatao traha baka andiakeny fa the challenges for women in fisheries is there's a lot of risk, and that risk is undertaken by the women buying the fish. The fish has a finite amount of time in between when you buy it and when you can sell it for a profit. So every day they're having to invest everything that they have into buying a product which has a short lifespan. So one of the ways that RENEFEP benefit women is by transforming the product in the community. Because if you can transform it in the community, it's going to give it a longer life. And by giving it a longer life, you're actually improving the quality and the price of that product in the main city. In the Bay of Rana Bay, we have 680 women that are invested into RENEFEP. And RENEFEP provides material, they provide training, they provide upscaling, and also securizing that value chain so they have a security net so they can be reliant on money coming through to support them and their households. But also to provide pathways out of that. So if you don't want to stay within fisheries, maybe you can move into pisciculture and grow tilapia. And our vision is to support women that don't have access to these things, to support these women in building a better life and a better future for them and their children. I think a healthy ocean has caught this vision by supporting RENEFEP, by providing women with a value chain, a significant value chain that can bring money back into the household. It's going to be a combination of things. It's going to be a healthy ocean, it's going to be a healthy forest, it's going to be a healthy Madagascar. Good access to education, access to healthcare, which is linked to access to good quality food, access to economic independence, access to network of people that are there to support you when times are rough. When you have issues, when you have difficulties, you can call out and you can have a support system in place that can provide you with different pathways to resolve the issues that you're going through. My wish for the future of the oceans is to shift the perspective of the people from an extractive resource to a resource that is better preserved through the protection and conservation of biodiversity and the ocean space.
Solving the problems in the Bay of Renobe requires an approach that takes into account the complexity of the situation. Nature and mankind must be seen as one again in order to restore this natural connection. Mother Earth provides us with all the resources we need. It's not the other way around. Natural areas must be protected in order to move away from exploitation and towards a more sustainable relationship, using them in such a way that promotes both biodiversity and production rates. This can only be achieved if people are provided with alternatives for their livelihoods, especially in the transition period, until these benefits of such measures are clearly felt. It's crucial to communicate and understand the finite nature of our reliance on natural resources. Simultaneously, there's a need to foster an awareness that existing resources should be appreciated and valued. This can be achieved by involving people in the process of change and promoting communities. These communities offer security, stability, and the opportunity for people to collectively not only look after their own well-being, but also that of the people around them. Ultimately, this approach is not only desirable for the Bay of Renobe, but it is a basis for solving many of the current global challenges we face.